If you ever find yourself in the state of Indiana, far from bustling roads and modern cities, you might stumble upon a tiny abandoned town called Red Hollow. It doesn't appear on modern maps. Almost no one talks about it, and only a few old-timers from nearby towns occasionally whisper its name, lowering their voices as if the very word might bring misfortune. Red Hollow appeared in the mid-1800s. It was a small mining town with a population that never exceeded 300 people. The locals mined coal and lived isolated lives, avoiding contact with outsiders. Even then, rumors spread that something was wrong with this place. People spoke of strange lights appearing in the woods at night, sounds resembling a child's cry, and shadows moving alongside houses when the sun disappeared beyond the horizon. But the true string of eerie events began in 1893. That year, the Bartlett family arrived in town. John Bartlett bought a large two-story house on the outskirts. The house was considered cursed. It was said that an old witch named Agnes had once lived there and cursed the town before her death, vowing that Red Hollow would never find peace. The Bartlett family consisted of John, his wife Emily, and their two children, 5-year-old Henry and 8-year-old Mary. At first, everything seemed fine. John worked in the mines, the children played in the yard, and Emily managed the house. But within a month, the neighbors noticed oddities. Each night, a light would appear in the attic window, yet no one in the family ever went upstairs. When John checked the attic, he found it empty. Once he discovered a trail of tiny footprints in the dust, leading to an old locked trunk, which, according to him, no one had ever opened. Gradually, strange things began happening in the house. Objects would disappear and reappear in the most unexpected places. At night, the children claimed they heard whispers from within the walls. Little Henry complained about a girl in a long dress who stood by his bed when he tried to fall asleep. At first, Emily thought it was a child's imagination, but soon she too began hearing knocks and crying behind the walls. The most horrifying event happened in the winter. One evening, John didn't return from work. When the miners went down into the shaft, they found his body mutilated beyond recognition. The official story claimed it was a collapse, but the workers swore there wasn't a single bruise from falling stones. His face was twisted in terror, and one witness said black liquid was seeping from his eyes. After the funeral, Emily and the children stayed in the house, but the nightly noises grew louder. Voices called their names, windows opened by themselves, and furniture moved on its own. Little Mary vanished 2 weeks later. The entire town searched for her. All they found was her doll, carefully placed on the doorstep, with a needle stuck into it. Emily lost her mind. She was seen wandering barefoot through the snow, talking to herself, repeating over and over, "She took my girl. I hear their voices." A week later, they found her dead by the river. There were marks of hands on her neck, but no signs of a struggle. Henry was never found. The last sighting of him was at the attic window, staring out into the darkness. By morning, the house was empty. No one knows what happened to him. After these events, people began leaving Red Hollow. The mine closed, homes were abandoned. The town emptied within 2 years. The last resident, an old man named George Henley, left a note in his diary. The voices, they never stop. I fear if I stay another night, they'll take me too. Today, no one lives in Red Hollow. The road there is overgrown, and the houses are in ruins. Yet the Bartlett House still stands. Its windows are shattered. The roof has caved in, but somehow the front door remains locked. Those few brave enough to enter, claim to have heard children's laughter and whispers, and in the attic they saw tiny barefoot prints in the dust. Local teens sometimes hold dares there at night. They say if you stay in the house until midnight, you'll hear someone whisper your name. And if you climb to the attic, you might see the silhouette of a little girl with a doll. Strangely, everyone who has seen this girl either vanished or lost their mind shortly after. One such incident happened in 1979, when 3 students from Chicago decided to spend the night in the house. They recorded everything on tape. By morning, their belongings were found on the doorstep, but the students themselves were never seen again. On the recording, only their footsteps, whispers, children's laughter, and a single phrase can be heard: "She's here." The legend of the Bartlett House still lives on among Indiana residents. It's said that if you hear your name spoken in an empty house, don't turn around, because at that very moment, someone is already standing behind you.